In 1978, Robert Greenberg, a businessman from Boston, moved to California. In the early years of his career on the East Coast, he had already bought and sold, owned and operated a variety of businesses: a hair salon, wig sales, importing and flipping antique clocks, a jeans company, and even a company that sold electric tweezers. Once he made it to the West Coast, he continued his approach of jumping into different random business ventures. His first endeavor on the West Coast was a roller skate sales and rental store called Good Times Incorporated. But when roller skate sales started to fall, Robert looked to pivot his business approach once again. Next up was Novelty Shoelaces. Always looking to capitalize on the current craze, Robert bought a $10,000 license to print an image of E.T. on his shoelaces. He sold $3 million worth of them in 3 months. And in 1982, he opened a women's apparel store on Mederos Avenue in Los Angeles, California, which sold brand name clothing, shoes, and accessories. Robert ran a contest where participants could submit suggestions for the name of the retail store. The winning name of the contest? LA Gear. Observing the booming aerobics and fitness craze of the 80s and the simple Reebok workout shoes that were so popular among that crowd, Robert decided to import similar canvas sneakers and slap the LA Gear logo on them. This would become a common business tactic for Robert, putting his own name or spin on a currently popular product. LA Gear's canvas workout shoe hit the market in 1985, and sales exploded from 200,000 at the beginning of the year to 1.8 million by the end of it. Robert's obsession with sneakers began here.
LA Gear. LA Gear. You got the moves. Come on, get into the groove. LA Gear.
In 1986, the company went public. The money that flowed into LA Gear from the stock market allowed them to diversify their products. The late 1980s saw LA Gear expanding their sneaker offerings and introducing sport and casual wear for men, women, and kids. That same year, the company's sales went up by 200% and doubled the next year. And in the years to come, publications such as Business Week, the Los Angeles Times, and the Wall Street Journal would tout LA Gear as one of the best small American companies and highlighted their stock as being the best performer on the New York Stock Exchange for multiple years in a row. Then, in 1990, the company's sales peaked at $818.8 million, and its shares in the US shoe market peaked as well at 11.8%, making LA Gear third only to Nike and Reebok. That kind of growth is absolutely insane. Now, the staying power of LA Gear was widely debated. Skeptics pointed out that the brand's sales in sporting goods stores were not robust enough to last, while some marketing experts praised the unique approach of filling department stores and mass merchandisers with LA Gear's products, a much wider distribution approach than most sneaker brands. Greenberg was outspokenly confident in the company's security. "We've taken the number 3 position now. Our brand is growing and consumer confidence is gaining every day," he told the Wall Street Transcript. Looking back at these explosively successful couple of years, we can observe that LA Gear's marketing and design approach was much different than that of their biggest competitors, whose new designs focused heavily on developing new sports performance technology and introducing carefully considered novel aesthetics with each release. Look no further than Nike's Air Jordan sneakers from the late 80s and early 90s. These designs were so meticulously crafted to suit the sport, the aesthetic design was innovative and unique, and the marketing campaign promoting Air Jordan demonstrated the fact that Nike had an institutional presence in the subcultures that their products catered to. Comparatively, Greenberg would often go to trade shows where he studied competitors' designs and marketing tactics, aiming to get an early glance at what he could incorporate into his own brand. Celebrity and athlete partnerships were huge investments for LA Gear. The company brought on musicians like Paula Abdul and Belinda Carlisle, and athletes such as Karl Malone, Joe Montana, Hakeem Olajuwon, and even Wayne Gretzky. As the year 1990 marched forward, LA Gear began to make some of its most notable missteps. Another one of the brand's athletes' partnerships, aligned with basketball star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, failed miserably, likely due to the fact that Jabbar was retiring at that point. He was far from a burgeoning star like most other athletes who were being targeted for brand deals. On the court, LA Gear took another hit. On national television, a college basketball player from Marquette University nearly injured himself when his LA Gear sneaker came apart from under him. You gotta keep in mind that LA Gear had only launched their men's sneakers a couple of years ago, and that kind of negative publicity would be a huge hit to any company's still developing reputation. Another huge factor in LA Gear's rapid decline was that of oversaturation. Not only did they have all sorts of different merchandise, and not only were their products in all kinds of different stores everywhere, but their products just weren't selling. In what might be seen as LA Gear's most significant failure, maybe even the nail in the coffin, the brand went all in on a deal with pop star Michael Jackson. It has been said that the $20 million 2-year contract that Michael Jackson requested was calculated to outdo the $18 million 7-year contract that Michael Jordan had signed with Nike. And though $20 million was over 1/5 of LA Gear's annual marketing budget, the brand was convinced that they had to have Michael Jackson, so they signed the contract.
To enter into the 90s, the theme of our ad campaign is unstoppable. This word epitomizes what LA Gear and Michael Jackson represents. Michael Jackson will be a fabulous spokesman for the company because of his sense of style, and he will touch the children of all ages all over the world. Together, we are truly an unstoppable team. I want to thank Robert Greenberg, our chairman, and I want to thank Michael Jackson for helping this wild idea become a reality. And I want to tell the competition one more thing. We'll up you a Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be part of the LA Gear Magic, and I hope we have a very rewarding, successful career. Thank you.
I know he likes backs, so to start him out, we gave him his first LA Gear satin jacket ever made, especially for Michael, and the magic signature with the touch of magic. Michael? And since Michael is the hottest star in all of the world, we thought we'd present him with the hottest shoe in the world, Fire. All I can say is that we're so proud, and we thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson. Give him a big round.
The contract stipulated that Jackson would be required to wear LA Gear clothing and shoes in music videos, performances, and on the album cover of a new Greatest Hits album. However, that album was never released, and MJ's signature Billie Jean sneakers that came out of the partnership were a total flop. The failure of this enormous investment hit LA Gear when they were already down, and they moved to sue Jackson for $46 million for damages stemming from his failures to fulfill the contract. This was met with a countersuit of $44 million from Jackson, and while both lawsuits were settled privately outside of court, it's now common knowledge that no settlement could have saved LA Gear from the company's downward trajectory. In 1991 and 1992, LA Gear faced 2 lawsuits from its competitors that were additional blows to the company's already plummeting value. Nike filed a lawsuit claiming that the LA Gear Catapult, a sneaker often seen advertised on the feet of Karl Malone, infringed upon Nike's patented spring moderator technology. Reebok later filed a lawsuit claiming that the LA Gear regulator infringed on the patented technology of the Reebok pump. And as a result of that, LA Gear was required to pay their competitors to license their sneaker technologies in order to keep selling their sneakers. Now I know you guys have a lot of nostalgia for the LA Gear Catapult and the LA Gear regulator. So I'm curious to know, do you guys think that they ripped off Nike and Reebok? Let us know in the comments down below. In 1991, LA Gear saw a net loss of $66.2 million, and the company defaulted on its bank loans. To ease the stress of the bank's regulations, LA Gear accepted a $100 million investment from Trefoil Capital investors, who in turn received a 34% stake in the company. As the company continued to struggle, they were unable to pay Trefoil dividends for 3 consecutive quarters, and as a result, Trefoil was given more and more control over the company. And by the end of 1992, Robert Greenberg and his son had both been pushed out of LA Gear. They would go on to found a company called Skechers. Everybody knows Skechers, but come on guys, we all know that Skechers is also a company that loves to steal sneaker technologies from their competitors. That same year, LA Gear dropped a new line of sneakers with light-up soles called LA Lights. I remember these. This is for LA Gear, this is what I'm nostalgic about. They were actually super popular, 100 million pairs sold at $50 a piece. But even though the line was successful, it wasn't enough to stabilize the company. Though Trefoil had a reputation for intervening and saving struggling companies, multiple pivots in their approach to LA Gear proved fruitless. They brought in 3 different leadership teams in 6 years, including former Reebok marketing executives. In 1997, Trefoil finally gave up and sold their $100 million stake for a mere $228,000 in 1997. In 1998, the company finally filed for bankruptcy. Through the 90s, 3 separate attempts were made to reassert the company in the industry, but none were successful. The company's licensing rights were later sold to ACI International, who to this day continues to produce footwear under the LA Gear name, though we haven't seen the brand make any significant waves in the industry since ACI took over. The brand actually partnered with rapper Tyga for this liquid gold LA Light signature shoe. A little known fact about this partnership is that Tyga actually did a redesign of Michael Jackson's Billie Jean sneaker. I kinda don't think that anyone was asking for either of these releases though. You know, I just don't see LA Gear ever making a comeback, and I have a lot of nostalgia for LA Gear. I grew up in the 90s, I had those light up shoes, and they were cool and everything, but they just didn't have that many hits, and I just don't see them making a comeback anytime soon. But I'm curious to know, like, what are some of your memories of LA Gear? Like, leave it down in the comments. I really want to know, and I'm sure other people in the comments would love to hear your story. So leave it down there, and I'll leave you guys with this. We did a video on K-Swiss, a similar company from the 90s that had a rise and fall, and I'll put the link of it here or here. It'll pop up on the screen momentarily. Go ahead and click on that, and I will see you over in that video. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Later.